You ready? You got me running. You got me running. Got me running. Shake it, shake it, shake it, baby. Raise your hands up. Raise them up.
Good evening, and welcome to the After Dark show. I'm your guest, Yvonne Michelle, and I'm here this evening, and we're going to be talking about some really hot and juicy topics. But before we go into that, I want to know, how are you? How has your week been? I know that we are living in different times, and we here at the After Dark club and crew and the one us here who do this show, we want to give you like a different experience. We're hearing so much about COVID. This talk about things that may not be as hard hitting, but they are equally as important, and that is relationships. That is relationships. Yes, yes, yes. I can see our guests coming on. Hey, Tisha, how you doing? Tisha, you're supposed to be on panel tonight. The link is in the group. Thank you very much. Welcome to the show. So before we go any further, I do want to ask you to share this with your networks. Share. Do not keep this to yourself. This is a show. This is the Big People show. This is the Big People show where we talk, and we create strategies to help people within their relationships. Now, relationships can be between husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, friend and friend. It could be between boy, girl, whatever, whoever. It's about relationship within your family, your siblings, your cousins, your aunties, your uncles. We are talking about the whole of relationships. That is what we're talking about today. Now, last week, if you were watching last week's show, you will know that we had a letter in from a member of public who was going through an issue with her partner. And if I wanted to just let you guys know that I did hear back from the writer, and just to give you a brief overview of last week, what she said, she was having issues, and the issues were as follows. So we called last week Red Letter Tuesday, and she says, I've been the lady was with her man for 13 years, relatively happy, and they got on well most of the time, but her partner was a terrible flirt. And there was an incident she mentioned, as her partner would, as soon as gets the calls, she gets calls from her friends, he takes over the calls, flirts with her friends, innuendos galore, just in case you didn't get to watch last week's show. So I just want to give you the brief overview. And she asked her friend not to encourage him, and her friend told her, go and sort out your man, and you should feel shame, basically. You should feel shame that you're coming to me, and respect yourself some more. So in a long and short of it is, they fell out, and it left our writer feeling quite insecure. Anyway, as I said, we heard from the young lady, as I call everybody young, and she messaged back to say, thank you very much, Yvonne and panel. She found the information given very informative. She did go on to say that she had spoken to her partner previously. This was not the first time. This was not an isolated situation. And she has gone on to take the advice and work it out, not only with her partner, but with her friend as well, as was suggested in last week's overview. So I just wanted to let you guys know that even though, yes, we laugh, we joke, we have fun on this show is actually helping people. This program is actually stretching people in their relationships. This is actually what's the word? It is challenging your behaviors when you are in relationships. So if you do have an issue and you would like to have some advice, do feel free. My email is info@yvonnemichelle.com. That is info@yvonnemichelle.com. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in our panel and then we are going to go into this week's hot topic. Yeah, this week's hot topic is not a red letter day. It is a hot topic day, and we do have a hot topic. If you are in the After Dark club, you would know that because you would have seen some adverts go out about tonight's topic. And if you are not in the club, now is the chance for you to get in the club. I'll see if I can get that link up as well, just at the top of my mind, and I shall get that to you as well. And so that if you do want to join the club, that way you will never ever be left out of what's going on in the After Dark club. And do remember, we have a retreat coming as soon as this lockdown thing is over. We will be having our retreat, and we are all invited. You are all invited. Yes, yes, yes. It's going to be amazing. And let me just say this about the retreat. We will be doing a program from the retreat live. So if you want to be a part of that, you better book your ticket. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to call in our panel members. Panel members in the green room. Where are you? Come in fast and furious today. Yes, yes, yes.
Hey.
Hi, Barbara. How you
Hello.
doing?
I'm good. Ready for tonight.
Good. Rochelle and Herbie, how you doing?
We're good.
Thea, how you doing?
Evening.
Wonderful. Okay, so I do believe that we have a few more panel members to come, but we are going to crack on with who we've got, and we are going to be talking about tonight's hot topic. Hi, Delroy, how are you? Okay, Delroy, take yourself off mute. We need to hear you first. And let me hear that everything is working well with your sound and everything. So if you take yourself off mute. That's it.
Hi, I'm here. Can you hear me? Testing.
Yes,
Okay.
we can hear you. Wonderful. Good evening. It's your first night on the panel as it is here. But Delroy has been with us for a while. Delroy has been a keyboard warrior, and now he's here live and direct. It always got lots of good content to share with us. So tonight's hot topic. Right. So if you pop yourselves back on mute now so that we don't get any more feedback, that'd be brilliant. Okay. So tonight's hot topic. How long should it take a man to know you're the one? Now, this is like a two-part thing because we've got to really talk to the men tonight, and then we've got to talk to the women. But before we go to the men, let's find out about the expectation. We do have a clip to play. It is from a podcast from another relationship show, which is called, I do believe it's called The Relationship Show. The Relationship Podcast, I think it's called, where we have a husband and wife talking about, it's just a short clip, their experience of actually coming together. Now, we're going to be discussing this tonight, and we want your views. So those of you who are on Facebook or are on YouTube, the Keyboard Warriors, this is your platform. Warrior away and tap those keys and give us your ideas, your thoughts, your feelings about how long it should take a man to know that the woman is the one. So, guys, Mr. Technician in the back, are we ready for the clip? Can you let me know, please? Right, so while we're waiting for that, I am going to ask, I'm not going to ask you how long it should take, but I want to ask you what you think about this topic. I want you to give me in 3 words what you think about this topic. And the topic is, how long should it take a man to know that the woman he is with is the one for him, the wifey, yeah. So what do you think about the topic? Do you think it's going to be an interesting? What do you think about topics? Because I don't want us to dive in yet just yet, because I want everybody to see the clip that has been ready for us to see. So I'm just going to jump to Herbie and Michelle before we go to the clip. Just let us know what you think, Herbie and Michelle. What do you think of tonight's hot topic?
I think it's going to be interesting. Interesting and a bit controversial. Yeah, I've got 2 words.
Yeah, 2 or 3 words is fine. It's fine. Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Go on, Herbie.
Yeah, I just think it'd be down to different opinions, different experiences. So experiences, opinions, and yeah, a lot of debate in between there.
Okay. Barbara, what's your thoughts?
I was there sitting like 3 words, quick. I was gonna say contrasting in terms of just the the views, men and women views. Gosh, it's hard when you have to say 3 words.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just gonna say contrasting, very contrasting, because interesting and contrasting. That's what I'm going with.
Oh, and interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Delroy, come in. You've gone back on mute. Just click yourself off again. You're on mute still. You're still on mute. You're still on mute, Delroy.
Come on.
There we go. We got you. No, it's not on. All right, we're going to come back to you, Delroy, because we're not hearing you. Tisha, how you doing?
Hi, so sorry I'm late. Thanks for inviting me on. I'm here.
Oh, I'm loving the green, Tisha. I'm loving that green on you. Oh yeah, nice.
You could dress up, Gosh, yeah. So 3 words. I think enlightening.
Ooh.
Surprising as well.
Yeah.
What else? I don't know. I can't think of the 3rd word. Just
all right. That's fine.
Yeah, let's go for those 2.
2's all right. They say 2's company, 3's a crowd. Theo.
Interesting. Controversial and funny. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
All right. Okay. Great words. Yeah, I think tonight is going to be fire. That's what I think. I think it's going to be fire. I think it's going to be surprising. And I also think it's going to be challenging. I think it's going to be... Ooh, somebody dropped the Dutch part cover. Did you guys hear that? That's what it sounded like to me. So, right. So, Mr. Technician, are we ready for the clip?
I saw somebody comment that men know right away within the first 6 months of talking to a woman what the future is going to hold with that woman. And I don't know where y'all got this from, but I see women say this all the time, and I see a lot of men chime in and agree with them. And I don't know if y'all got it from Steve Harvey's Think Like a Man or whatever y'all got this from, but I'm telling you, it's wrong. It's not true. Like it's just not true. I don't know how other way to put it. Like Asha said, we didn't get engaged until 2 years after us, getting to know each other. Mm-hmm. And there's no way within the first 6 months that I knew that I wanted to be with Asha for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a huge decision to make. And because somebody put that out there into the atmosphere and everybody breathed it in and believed that that was Bible, a lot of y'all are missing out on some blessings in y'all life because y'all have a clock, a 6-month clock on your relationship. And if a person doesn't make moves in order to make you their life partner, their wife or husband, wife in this case, then you up and leave. Mm-hmm. And you could be missing out on a blessing. So I would tell people to forget, unlearn that. Wherever you learned it from, unlearn it. Like, come on, they don't even make you choose your major in college in the first year. Yeah. And y'all up here trying to choose the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, build a family with, build a future with in 3 to 6 months. Like, that's crazy.
Okay, so you heard it. I think we missed a bit of the beginning. Could we, before you bring everybody back in, could we just show that one more time from the beginning, from the top? Because we did miss some of the key things from the very, very beginning. And I want everybody to get a full overview of what we're talking about tonight. So if we could show that just again, one more time. Guys.
I saw somebody comment that men know right away within the first 6 months of talking to a woman what the future is going to hold with that woman. And I don't know where y'all got this from, but I see women say this all the time, and I see a lot of men chime in and agree with them. And I don't know if y'all got it from Steve Harvey's Think Like a Man or whatever y'all got this from, but I'm telling you, it's wrong. It's not true. Like it's just not true. I don't know how other way to put it. Like Asha said, we didn't get engaged into 2 years after us, getting to know each other. Mm-hmm. And there's no way within the first 6 months that I knew that I wanted to be with Asha for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a huge decision to make. And because somebody put that out there into the atmosphere and everybody breathed it in and believed that that was Bible, a lot of y'all are missing out on some blessings in y'all life because y'all have a clock, a 6-month clock on your relationship. And if a person doesn't make moves in order to make you their life partner, their wife or husband, wife in this case, then you up and leave. Mm-hmm. And you could be missing out on a blessing. So I would tell people to forget, unlearn that. Wherever you learned it from, unlearn it. Like, come on, they don't even make you choose your major in college in the first year. Yeah. And y'all up here trying to choose the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, build a family with, build a future with in 3 to 6 months. Like, that's crazy.
Okay, so we're back. We are back. Okay, so you've heard it as the panel are coming back in. Right, we're going to discuss this. I think this is a very, very juicy subject because we are all at different places in our lives. Now, the majority of our demographic that watch this show are 40 plus. Actually, when I looked at the demographics, it said actually 36 to 57 was the age group based on your Facebook, based on your what you put into those analytics. So we know that this couple here are a younger couple, so their views may or may not be different. So we're going to just go straight into this. Right, we're going to go straight into this. Men know, and the thing that the young man said was that men should know in the first 6 months of a relationship and he said it's wrong. Do you agree or disagree? Just on that question, and I want to know why. And keyboard warriors, come on, hit me. We want to read out your comments this evening. We want to hear what you've got to say as well. Those of you on Facebook, those of you who are on YouTube, welcome. This is your show. You are part of it, and we want to hear what you've got to say. So, men should know in the first 6 months that this is the woman of their dreams, or the woman that they're going to spend the rest of their life with. Is this wrong? So, I am going to go to. I'm going to start with the women first, actually, And I want you to be honest, really, really honest from where you are at personally. So, Barbara, I'm going to come to you because you're at the top of the screen for me. So, Barbara, what are your thoughts?
So my thoughts are, I believe that it depends on the individual and where they're at in themselves, because I think you have to kind of know yourself and then know what you want before you can say, okay, this person is the one. So I don't agree that there is like a time that people should know, because I just think everyone's different. I think everyone's different, and it just depends on what you're looking for, shall I say, in that particular part of your life. And I do agree about I think it does depend on age as well, and like life experience, because you may think different things at different stages of your life. So, you know, you might have a partner when you're in your 20s and think, oh, I'm in love with him and he's going to be with me forever and I love him forever. But then as you grow, you may change, he may change, and they might not be that person. But then you might meet someone later in life, and you get that feeling because you're more of in tune with yourself and what you want as a person. And yeah, you're just at a different level. So I think it just depends. I don't think there's a hard and fast rule about it. I just think it depends on where you're at, if you know yourself well enough, and then you know where the other person is at as well. But that's just my opinion.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for your opinion. No, Delroy, I'm gonna need, if you put yourself on mute when you're not speaking, because I can hear and I know you're moving, and I can hear you moving. So if you put yourself on mute, that'd be great. Tisha, right. So what are your thoughts? You know, should men know in the you know, by 6 months of being with a woman, you know, whether or not she could be or is the one? Do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, it's just such a great conversation. Should you know? I think when you first meet someone, you kind of know if they are your type, like physically. That's a big thing. That's a big thing. So yeah, physically, you know, they're the kind of person that you're attracted to. And then as you get to know someone, that's when you get to know about their personality and things like that. Should you know? It's such a massive decision, as I said. You don't know who is the one and what you're kind of, yeah, what that person, who that person really is. But I think when we were younger, I know it was very simple for me to say, I really like this guy, I want to be in a relationship with him. And as I've got older, there's so many different factors that come into me wanting to settle down with someone. So should you know? I think a man would definitely know if there's potential there, or at least put the women into different categories. I think that's probably another question. They know if this is potential wifey, or if if that woman is there just to have a bit of fun with. So I think men know straight away with regards to categories, but with regards to the one, I think that, no, I don't think that's the case. But yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, great. Thank you for that, Tisha. Now we're going to bring in, hold on, we've got Michelle, because I want to get the women first, and then I want to bring in the men, because the men, they know how it goes, because this is about them. So Michelle, come.
I think it's down to time. I don't know if they should know. I don't think it should be a should. They could probably say, well, this is wifey material, but then it takes time to actually develop that relationship and just to see how things go. So I wouldn't necessarily say that they should know. I think that's part of a process. Things change, you know, people change. And within 3 months, they might think, well, actually, I'm not too sure about this. Within 6 months, they could think the same. So I think it shouldn't be a should. I think things change and they have to see where the relationship goes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Michelle. I like that. What you're saying. I'm looking at two different screens and you're still talking, but I was looking at the wrong screen. Anyway, right, so men. We've heard the women talk. And give their points of view. I just want to pick up on something that Tisha said. She said that men normally kind of know if the potential's there. There's a potential wifey there. And I liked that. So I wrote that down. But before we go to the men, I just want to say, right. So Dean Bailey says it takes a lifetime because people change sometimes in relationships. Andrea Maxwell says it definitely takes time. CT says, I think it only takes time if you are playing games as opposed to courting each other Yeah, okay. I like that, CT. I like that a lot. Where else have we got? We've got, let me just go on to, right, so I'm going to bring in the men. I'm going to bring in the men because I haven't put up my Facebook yet. He's not up and running as well. So I've got screens all over the place. So, okay, so Theo, I'm going to bring you in to give your opinion.
Men, most men know pretty early on if this woman's the one. Most men they know pretty early on. As Tisha said, we put them into categories, and the best way for man to test is when we start thinking, can we see our life without this woman? And we know that pretty much. If you're a player and you've got other girls, you're not really interested in seeing anybody else but this one woman. And that pretty much happens after a few weeks, maybe even a month. You're not interested in anybody else. So all you want to do is speak to this one female. So men pretty much know pretty early if she's the one. If things change along the way, then they change, but they pretty much have it in their mind, this is the one for me. So yeah, we do know pretty early on.
Okay.
And especially if you have, lived a little bit. So if you reached around like say late 20s, early 30s, and you've had a bit of, wild days, you tend to find that one. And sometimes you might find them earlier. Some guys get married earlier, like Michelle and Herbie sitting there, married 30 plus, I don't know how many years. So they know pretty much from early that this is the one.
Right. So I get that. But we're going to bring in Michelle and Herbie latter. I'm going to bring in, thank you for those comments, Theo. I'm going to bring in Delroy now, and then Herbie will come in after. So Delroy, what are your thoughts?
Well, personally, I totally agree with the lady so far, but it does take time for each person to know each other. It all depends on the age as well and where they are in life. As Barbara said before, when you're younger, it's like it's compatible. You find a compatible partner and you want to go with that one. But as you get older, things change. It's a trying process as you go along. And if you find that you're compatible, you stay together. Simple as that.
Okay. So there's no should to it. You just think that it just depends on where you guys are. Do you know what?
No, there's no should, basically. No should.
Right. I'm going to bring in Herbie, then I'm going to say something. Go on, Herbie. Tell us. Thank you, Delroy. Thank you for your comments. Herbie, what's your thoughts?
Well, yes, there's no should in the 6 months. When you kind of have a feeling, like Tisha was saying. You look and you see a potential. I mean, everyone's saying everything that is kind of quite correct there. I mean, Theo was saying, you have your kind of wild days, you play around, and then you realize that this one you don't really want to be messing around with, because this one is the one you really want to move on with and for the rest of your life with. You don't sort of say it out loud that you want to spend the rest of your life with, but you kind of know that something. This is potentially what I'd like to do, and you kind of make it happen. Yeah. But the time could be, it could be weeks, to tell the truth. You can put a 6 month deadline on it, and come 6 months and everything has changed. Yeah. So yeah, you just go with it, and every man do their thing a little bit different, as we know, and everyone's unique in their way. So it's gotta be you just go with it. You find a lady, that you love and you like and you feel yeah, and you go with it. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, but in your heart, that's what you want. So yeah.
In your heart, that's what you want.
And let the heart manifest.
Okay. Was it as Herbie said, every man do his thing a little way different. It's very true. Very, very true. But I think you guys are sitting on the fence a bit. I really do. I really do. I want us to really be open at this. Yeah, it depends on what people. Yeah, it does. But I'm not asking you about people now. I'm asking you about you directly, because I know that many of us, whether we want to admit it or not, have had relationships where we may have thought, this one could be. And the fact that you are saying could be, right? Regardless of whether it was. But the point of the matter I'm asking, the fact that you're in that position, because when we come together as men and female, or however you come together, however your thing is, yeah? But when we come together and we are in that intertwine, emotions, feelings come into it, and you may feel a certain way towards that person, even though you might think, because how many women have told men that they love them after the second or third date? Come on, we need to be honest, because we make ourselves look like a bunch of hypocrites when we are not honest, right? So let's wipe the slate clean. I want us to be really honest today, because this young man is talking from his perspective, and I want us to talk from our own perspective. Not, well, maybe people. No, what about you? What are your thoughts on this? Yeah, I personally speaking, I'm not giving you nothing. I'm not telling you how I feel personally. I'll leave it to the end of the show. I'm neutral on this. I want you guys to say what it is, or what you think, why this guy is talking from a certain perspective, because he mentions that he was in a relationship with his now wife for 2 years before he knew that he wanted to marry her and asked her to marry her. Now, is it that men, once they know you are the one, do they ask you straight away? Because you've got to be realistic about this. Are they going to ask you straight away, or are they going to be, no, I'm going to wait and see, take some time, and then ask the question? Oh, well, I'll see how we get on. But that person, like Theo said, it might have come to mind that you thought, this she could be. She could be. Is that you, Mr. Cox? Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, because we can hear you moving around.
Apologies.
It's all right, my darling. If you pop yourself on mute, that'd be great. Thank you, sweetie. And I know that Tony will probably have a completely different view to every single person on the panel tonight. So I am really looking forward. Do you know what? When this subject came up, Mr. Cox, I was like, I want to hear what you got to say. I really want to hear what you got to say, because I know you're going to come out with something completely different to everybody else. Right. So the family tree, can we go back to the family tree just a moment? See what that comment said. Please like the show, ladies and gents. Help the show to grow. I love you, the family tree. Yes, please. We need as much likes and as much hearts and as much. Show me some love, people. Now, show me some love. Yeah, we need that on the show. Okay, so we're going to go back. I think Tony's the only one. Tony, do you want a little bit more time? Just nod your head if you need a little bit more time. Are you ready? A little bit more time. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So Kellyanne Russ, one of our panel members, says social conditioning and pressures, nonetheless, culture, need to also be taken into consideration with regards to this subject. Thank you for that, Kellyanne. So, social conditioning or social pressures, and also culture needs to be taken into consideration when we discuss this. So I'm going to open up the floor. Because the young man said he's talking from his own perspective as being a young man, 2 years. Do you think that 2 years is enough time? Yeah. Do you think that's enough time to know somebody to then say, right, I want to marry this person? So we're going from 6 months to 2 years. Do you think that is more acceptable? Any one of you can jump in, any order, anywhere.
So he took him 2 years before he decided to get married. But he already knew after how many months that she was the one. That's why he was dating her for so long. Guys, we know, and then we give it time to grow just in case things change and people change over the period of time. Me personally, I knew with my wife after a few months, but we was together for at least another year. I always said to myself, I'm going to live with somebody for a year before I get married, if I'm going to get married. Because living with somebody for a year, you see everything in that year. You see all the different ups and downs and stuff. And if you can tolerate it, then yeah. So that was for me personally. So 2 years, yeah, it's a bit long, but hey, each to their own. But as I said, most guys know pretty much after a few months, she's the one. And then we're gonna see how it plays out after that. And if it doesn't work out, then we go, okay, she was special, but there was issues, or she's holding on to the last partner, or she's, carrying her baggage, or she hasn't gotten over something, or, childhood issues, whatever it may be, and they haven't been, dealt with. So maybe she gets put down to the side, maybe come back in a few years' time, who knows? But yeah, but most guys pretty much after a few months, that she's the one.
Okay.
And the circumstances change.
And the circumstances change. Thank you for that. I just saw, is it Andrea, a message? She said in her 40, how old she is now. So a man better know within the next 6 months.
Oh, she's 46, she said, Andrea.
Yes.
Yeah,
Angela, that's it. If I was single right now at 46, he best know in 6 months, because I don't want to keep dating forever. This is the truth. Thank you, Angela. This is the truth of it. This is what I want to get to, because we're on. Everybody's watching us, and we want to be quite coy with our answers. We need the truth. We need the truth, because the truth will set us free. And if we don't tell the truth here, we're only going to make ourselves look like a bunch of lies down the road, because we're going to remember, oh, you said this and you said that. Remember, guys, we said a lot of things that were said on this show last year have turned around and come full circle. But you said this last year, because we've been pulled out. I think Tony's pulled up a couple of things during some shows throughout the year that have been said, and it's been a contradiction, blah, blah, blah. Listen, the truth will set you free. The truth will set all of us free. We need to be honest. If we want to be with somebody proposed to in 6 months, talk your truth. Talk your truth. Be bold. Be brilliant. Be authentic. Be you. Talk your truth today. Talk it today. Because at the end of the day, we will never, ever, ever get any further forward if we don't stop telling a lie. Say what you want. Thank you very much, Angela. Thank you so much for that honesty. If you were at this age, you would not want to be going around dating for 6 months, blah, 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 blah. What was that, Delroy? Come in, tell me. Tell what you're saying.
Yeah, so basically, look at it this way, yeah? When they're actually younger, they're thinking differently than when you get older. When you get older, you actually know that, well, you know what you want out of life. You know what you're looking for. But when you're younger, it's about finding yourself and getting to know the partner you're with. You usually spend a few years together before you make those decisions, because trust and loyalty have to build up. So as you go along in age, you basically, you would, if you don't know what you want now, you will never know again. That's all I can say.
Thank you, Delroy. Good point. Does age make a difference to the way that you think, the way that you say what you're doing? Hold on, we just got one here. Cal Perkins says, I got married after being with my ex-wife for 2 years. Biggest mistake of my life. I shouldn't have got married to her. My last relationship, we were together for 8 years and never got married, and it's such a relief. Divorce is a messy business. Well, if you have the intention of being divorced, you will be divorced. That's all I've got to say. But, it's choice, isn't it? You better make the right choice. That's it. Dean Bailey, another man. I was married for 18 years and my wife turned around and told me that she sees me as a brother more than a husband, as she wanted to divorce me and just be my friend. Okay. I would, well, it may be that over the 18 years that how the relationship developed, that you did become like her brother. Only you would know that. Only you would know that. You have to be in it to know it. So I can't really comment on that. I'm going to bring in Mr. Cox in a minute. Right. The DJ Super Me, my friend. Hello. Good evening, sir. He says we need to go to Love School and get an NVQ. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think we do need to go back to school. We need to relearn some stuff or unlearn some stuff and then redevelop the real truth, honesty of what love really is. I think that would be a really good thing. So the messages are coming in fast and furious. That this is great. So, oh, he's not there. Tisha, come in because you got your hand up.
Yeah, just thinking about what is the theory of the one. I think that's something that we've got to look at, because I see that marriage might not be the formal, like the end result for a lot of people. I mean, that's not massive for me. So the commitment that I want for my partner at 3 months, I want in 10 years. So yeah, he might think you're the one after 2 years, but does that mean you have to? Do you know what I'm saying? Does that mean you have to get married? That's not the end result for.
No.
So that same, yeah, you should want that same commitment. If you're in a relationship, it should be the same whether you're married or not, or if you're I suppose living together is something different. But the one, what does the one mean? What does it? Knowing the one, like. Is it different from 6 months to 2 years? Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And that question, I will hand that question over to Michelle and Herbie because they have been in a long-term relationship for over 30 odd years together from school. Yes. So I'm gonna bring those in to answer that question. I'll bring them in then, and then I'll bring Tony in after, as just to make it flow. So Michelle and Herbie.
Yeah, the marriage thing, I would say, to me, it was just like another step. Whether we was married or not, I still had that sort of commitment. We got married because that was a normal thing to do, and of course, we're not saying of course, but we was in church at the time, so in terms of being obedient to the church rules and how them operate. You need to marry yourself before you start getting involved in them kind of way there. But we've been discussing talking about this and sort of saying that, when we started our relationship, when we were friends first for a little while, when we started a relationship, I just felt like, yeah, this can work. And as Thea was saying, I mean, the other women, lady friends and stuff, they just sort of like start to disappear in the distance, and then you got this focus on this one lady, and again you get the kind of focus back. So it's like, something, yeah, we're kind of getting there. We're committed. You know what I mean? That commitment started from there, because I commit myself to say, like, something. This is a one woman. Or one woman man, you know what I mean? And we just sort of like, I mean, things worked out very well for us. I can't say there's no kind of rhyme or reason. All I know that I just wanted to be with this woman for the rest of my life. And I thought, something, I'll just go for it. You know what I mean? Let's put the cards on the table and just go for it. If it worked, it worked. If it didn't, it didn't. But I was looking for it not to work. So in my mind, it was a positive thing. You know what I mean? It's got to work out somehow or another. So yeah. So in terms of the point that the time, the years, and married or no married, because I know people that I thought were married because they're in a relationship for a long time. And I'm saying, you know, a chap, I think 25 years. And I said, to me, how's your wife? He goes, that's not my wife, my partner. I said, what? He said, no, we've never been married. And I asked him why. He said, well, why, you know, we don't need to. You know, he said he didn't need to get married. You know what I mean? We've committed to each other and we've been to live together. We family and we're just happy together. And I thought, okay. Yeah. So the marriage thing is there, but not everybody take the option.
Yeah. I knew Herbie was the one.
I was the Matrix, Nero. Nero.
Yeah, there was just something about him, and I think he was different to some of my boyfriends that I had. But then I was young as well, and it doesn't seem like 34. It'll be 35 this year. Yeah, 34 years. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like we're still like young and still dating and still doing all those sort of things. Even though, yes, we've matured and stuff like that, but it seems like, you know, like yesterday that we got married, even though we were been together for 38 years all in all, but married 34. So yeah, you know, I just knew for me, I knew because I felt it in my heart.
In your heart?
Yeah.
Oh, you felt this in your heart.
This is funny. You knew it in your heart. I think that's lovely. I think there's a lot of comments coming in, but I think it's lovely that you say you knew it in your heart. There's lots of comments going, you grow together, you know, in friend zone and stuff. And this is something. What I will drop in here, and then I'll bring in Tony. What I will bring in here is a married couple said to me. What they said to me was this. I think you guys need to, Herbie and Michelle might need to put yourself on mute because I can hear myself coming back. Yeah. So, what I was taught, and I think this is such a valuable lesson in life. When you come together, and you are in a place of compatibility. You get on. You're in love. You love being together. You love spending time together. You love doing things together. You love everything about each other. You know. Because regardless of where you might be in your relationship now, whether you're in a relationship or you're divorced, at some point in that relationship, you felt good about that person. You might be divorced now, not feel good about that person, but that's on you, right? Because when you came together, you felt good about the person, right? And so you're both here. Yeah, so you're both here. So when one does something in their life and moves up slightly, what's the other one supposed to do? The other one is supposed to have things doing in their own life, to move up with that person. So they stay equal and compatible, because compatibility is part of the key to the success of a relationship. Yeah, a part of the key. I never said it was everything, but it is. So then you move up, you start to progress, your life changes, things are happening in your life because you're growing. Where there's growth, there is change. So that person's growing. So you as the person that's in that relationship have to grow too. But what happens in a lot of relationships and why they break down is because one is moving and the other one is still in the same place. So where you move, that person is up there. This person, you now can't see each other. You've got nothing in common. You become friend zones. You become there's nothing there but air between you. That is what breaks down a relationship. You have to grow together. Like Michelle and Herbie have said, they grew together. And I think that's what helps to keep a relationship successful, is when you grow together and you are in agreement, because two cannot walk together if they are not in agreement. Mr. Cox, over to you.
Rah, didn't even get an introduction.
I did. Mr. Cox, there's your
good evening.
Go on.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I'm kind of a little bit caught on back foot today because I came off one show where I was sitting over there with a different background and different subject matter. And now I'm over here, different clothes, different background. Yeah, nice to see some of you guys I haven't seen for a little while. Barbara, Tisha, Delroy, Herbie, Michelle. Theo, I just see you all the time in our business. Anyway, so as somebody says, Mr. Cox is about to put the cat amongst the pigeons. This is a very good subject, but I'm gonna break it down the way I look at it. Commitment is cultural. The reason I say that is based on your cultural upbringing, commitment has a whole heap of different meanings. Yeah, if you're typical Nigerian, born in Nigeria, brought up through Nigerian religious beliefs and schooling, your belief of what your commitment is going to be different to if you're westernized Caribbean, like Caribbean, UK, Caribbean. Even Caribbean is different to UK, and then America, and then all the other places. You know, if you're Indian, for instance, if you're Indian, your commitment is completely different because what is expected of you is completely different. If you're Jewish, commitment means a completely different thing. So imagine now we're in a world where you're trying to mix all these different aspects, all these different cultures. We live in the most multicultural place in the world. And now all of a sudden you're dealing with a Nigerian woman brought up in a strict Nigerian culture, religion, education background to a Western man who's Caribbean. And you're trying to bring those two cultures together. And you love each other. But what am I committing to? And what am I expected to be doing in my commitment? So that's how I look at that commitment aspect from the point of view of, well, my commitment is my commitment, but it's going to be different based on my cultural upbringing. Yeah, let alone if I'm black and I've been brought up black and then I'm getting involved with someone who's white, Indian, Chinese, whatever. Their cultural upbringing means that the complexity of maintaining the commitment is going to change. Yvonne, your point about levels, absolutely right. People grow. One person, their career goes like super up. The other person is supporting that person. And then as a result, something changes. The dynamic of the relationship will change. And again, this boils down to cultural upbringing, because historically, when we look at our parents, our grandparents, the man went out, he farmed, he did all he did. He went on and he made a career. And the woman stayed at home. And she looked after the kid and she nurtured the family. And the man was just making everything fundamentally secure for the woman to be able to do her job of rearing the house and nurturing the children. Yeah? That dynamic doesn't exist in the same way. I'm not saying it doesn't exist at all, but it doesn't exist in the same way, because now we've got many women who are the hierarchy in the relationship. And is the man willing to take the back seat and say, you know what, I'll nurture and become the home grower? So all of these things are going to play an impact. Then we have the age differences. Age is going to be a massive part of this thing, because where I see myself and how I committed to my wife when I was 30, which is when I got married, my first wedding at the age of 30. Done all my Playboy things when I was in my teens and in my 20s. Got to 27, 28, started developing a long-term relationship. Hit my 30th and went, okay, let's go. This is the woman of my dreams. Let's do it. Went in, bam, all intentions. This is the for life one. Didn't work out. Something happened. Life. Okay, let's try again. I'm not deterred. Gonna find somebody. A few years later, find someone. Spent a lot longer developing that relationship. And then I hit 40 and we got married. Boom, the commitment. And then we had 16 great years. 2 kids, the house, the family, the car, the blah, 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 blah. And we just grew apart. So once again, you've got that dynamic. One person going this way, one person going that way. And so on and so forth. What's the key? I've seen a lot of people write about education. Education is key, as always. Education about the complexities of marriage, the complexities of living together, the complexities of growing finance, generational wealth, you know, home keeping, raising children, discipline. You know, discipline is a big thing, because if you're on two different wavelengths when it comes to discipline, and 5 years, 10 years down the line, you have a child and you suddenly realize you've got different attitudes to disciplining your children, you're going to have a loggerheads. You're going to have a problem. Okay? So lots of things need to be discussed. And we've, over the how many weeks we've been talked about, you know, what do we expect of our partner, what our expectations are, what our love languages are, all these different things. They all come into the matter of learning how to develop a relationship with another person. And therefore, you know, all this makes life so complex. And ultimately, you know, I don't think anybody can teach anybody about, right, this is, I can give you guidance, but I don't think anybody can go, right, here's a book, top to bottom, this is, if you follow these rules, you're going to live happily ever after. It cannot exist. Because we know life is more complex than a set of rules. You know, there's just so many factors that we can only give guidance to our children. You know, never be abused, never go to sleep on an argument.
Well, that one doesn't work, does it, Tony? We know that doesn't work because people do that all the time. Yeah. We know that. We know that. But I want you to hold on. I want you to hold on. The people who have good relations, the people who have good marriages, they say that works for them. Maybe they're practicing those things that others are preaching and not practicing, and it ended up mashing up their relationship. But we know that because that's, you know, when you go to weddings, that's all you hear. The thing, when they're doing the speeches, don't go to bed on an argument, you must start to talk first. But we know in reality, especially those of us who are divorced, will know that doesn't always work. And that is probably why we have divorce on our marriage certificate. That's it. Okay, right. So there you go. But I wanna go back to something that Parita Shah said. She says, I want to get the right one. She says, I'm Indian and I believe times have moved on. It's an individual thing. As Karen Eastman said, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, move on. Times have changed. And she says, I think it's about individuals and their own identities. People want to do what they want to do now, and people love learning about different cultures. There is no guarantee if you marry your own culture, I think it's going to work. Life is a risk. The only guarantee is death. The rest is all learning daily. Love it. Thank you for that comment, Parita Shah. Love that. You can guide, but then it's up to them to choose. Absolutely. Thank you, Parita, for your input. Tony, you came in and, you know, hold on a minute. He wants it back. I know. I didn't even finish. I know you didn't, but we've still got another hour, and other people need to talk. But you are holding this right now, right? You're holding that. Okay, so the young man, he said that he feels that this culture has come for people women expecting their partners to ask them to marry them within this 6-month period, and he believes it's come from people like Steve Harvey with think like a man, act like a lady, or something. So it is, and those kinds of the new age relationship coaches who are coming in and saying X, Y, and Z and giving a false perception. For him, he feels that it's wrong, and he looks young. He looks like he's in his late 20s, maybe. But we are talking. Our demographic of this group is is more mature. And so my question is, you know, does it make a difference? Yeah, 1 hour's gone already. Does age make a difference? And I do believe that Delroy's already picked up on this. But why does age make a difference? And is Angela the only one who's brave enough to say, well, if I'm this age and you know, I don't want to be hanging around for 6 months. I want the commitment. It doesn't necessarily mean marriage, right? But the commitment. Me and you, we're one. We're doing it. We're doing it together. Is it on? What's the word I'm looking for? Is it healthy? Is it unreasonable? That's the word for a woman, because this is how this whole conversation started. Is it unreasonable for a woman to expect a man of a certain age to know if he feels that she is the one? I'm putting it out there. Is it? Barbara, I can see your hands up. Come in. I'll ask the ladies first, actually, and then we'll come with the men. Okay, so I'm going to go totally from my experiences and basically what I want in my life. So that lady, Angela said she's 46, we're the same age. So it's very interesting, and it's true what she's saying, because when I was younger and, you know, I've dated and then I got married and that didn't work. I got married at a very young age. I was 23 when I got married and that didn't work out. And I agree with what Tony was saying. I would agree with what you were saying, Yvonne, when you talk about the levels. I also agree with the cultural aspect of things as well. And I'll just tell you for why, because my upbringing, there's expectations, and you're expected to, if you're going to get married as well, you're going to stick it out regardless, to be fair. They you know, it's not about divorcing or anything like that. You just kind of get on with it. But then it came to a point for me where there was that level. There was just such a difference in where we were going, what we were thinking, you know, it was like we almost became two different people. You know, we're on brilliant terms now. And again, that came with both of us maturing and kind of recognizing the mistakes that we both made. Now, what I was saying in terms of now, if I am not going to waste my time even going through the process of dating a man, if I don't see potential of commitment, and I mean long-term commitment, not at this time in my life. I'm not about just going for a little drink and going and having a little one night. So I'm not on that. I do want commitment, and I will know. And to be fair, I'm quite straight as well, because I like to because I don't want any mixed messages. So if I'm gonna see a guy, he's gonna know that's what I'm looking for. So coming from my opinion, yeah, I would know if, yeah, this person has potential to be that person I'm looking for commitment. Like I said, not necessarily marriage, but just having that long-term commitment as a partner. I would know that, and I would expect the guy that I'm looking at, because I like to date guys that are older. I'd expect him to know what he wants at the end of the day. And if you don't know what you want, then see you later, because I know what I want. So yeah, I'd definitely tell him straight, this is my expectations. And I think because I'm just so upfront anyway, he would know, because I would have kind of had those conversations. And it's about having those conversations as well to kind of get the feedback, and you kind of get a gist. If you're like bringing certain things up in conversation to someone you're seeing or whatever, you would kind of know just from how they respond to you, okay, this guy is not the one, because he's not on the same wavelength. So yeah, that's just me. Thank you for that, Barbara, and thank you for your honesty. This is what me I talk about. I know the truth. What is your truth today? What is your truth? Yes, Angela, put the fire emoji. Fire. Yes, we want to know the truth of the matter. What is it that you want at this age? Do you think it's unreasonable to meet somebody, date somebody for 6 months, and then they turn around and say they're not looking for commitment? You must be mad. Anyway, let me just go to Tisha. Tisha, come in. I'm going to speak to the ladies first, and then the men, I'm going to give you the floor, because I want to hear what the men have to say about this. Tisha, what are your thoughts?
So, my thoughts. Yeah, Angela, yeah, spot on. As we get older, I think we know more of what we want. We know more of what we want. I think with my dating, I haven't initially wanted that commitment, but I didn't want to seem needy or like I wanted to. I just didn't want to seem needy. I think that was the issue, and I think that is a cultural thing. As our friend Tony said, there is a cultural thing there, because we've talked on this before, especially as a black woman, you feel like you can do it all yourself and things like that. So for me, that kind of comes through in my relationships. But now going forward, when I am dating, I'm actively saying exactly what I want. And yeah, I want commitment, not necessarily marriage, but I want commitment, because I want that same commitment from what, like if you're dating, you should know what you want. So if your partner's saying, oh, they're not really looking for a long-term relationship, or they're just looking to date, you should know if that's the same for you. And if it's not, move on, because I'm older. I don't want to be wasting time with men who aren't serious. So now I do put it down and say what I'm looking for. I'm looking for long-term. And if you're not on that, but then you're not for me. So that same commitment and that same, like when you meet someone, you kind of know if they're like your kind of person, if you're compatible, and that same feeling should grow within time. But I think initially you should definitely know, and that's what I'm doing going forward, just saying, being upfront and just saying, I want commitment. So that's my take.
Do you think commitment has changed? That what commitment means? Do you think, because back in the day, commitment was marriage?
Yeah.
So what does commitment look like to you? That's a question. Hold the thought. Hold the thought. Michelle, I'm coming to you, and then we're going to go to the men.
Yeah, I was just saying to Herbie that, the commitment for us, for me, it was from get-go, even from when we were sort of going out together, like from school days, the commitment was there. And there continues to be that commitment within our relationship. And where Tony was talking about the different levels, different sort of where one person might be higher than the other and whatever aspect. I was saying to Herbie, that was similar, where I was earning more than Herbie, and Herbie was okay. There was a time when I wasn't working and Herbie worked, and it was just how we communicated with each other. I mean, we talk all the time. It's not for everybody, because everybody, some people don't talk all the time, but we talk all the time, and it could be the smallest of things, but we've just grown to do that. We have a very clear understanding as to what we want in life, and we have those debates. So the commitment for us, and we got married when I was 20 and Herbie was 21, but he just knew at that time that's what he wanted. So we've just continued in that strand from get-go, really, until now. That communication, not hiding things from each other, just going for it, really, and just being open. That's how I've come to work it within our relationship.
Great. So thank you, Michelle. Thank you for your openness, your honesty. We've had some messages here. Carl Perkins says, I want to be single for the rest of my life. I'm very happy for you. Karen Eastman says you will. I'm very, very happy for you that you want to be single for the rest of your life. Very happy indeed. All the best with that. And I don't say that in any condescending way. I'm just saying I'm very happy for you that that's your choice. Good for you. And that you've been bold enough to say that is what you want to do. Absolutely. But remember this. Don't sit there. I'm just going to say this, yeah. Don't sit there and blame the women. Don't sit there and blame the women, because you know what? You have had two, was it two? You said, Richard, marriage and another one. You're the common denominator. That's all I'm saying. When our relationships fail, one of the things that we do is that we love to blame and be bitter. Don't do it, because you will kill yourself. It will kill you. Just leave it alone. Let them go. Forgive yourself. Forgive them and move on. That's the best piece of advice I can give everybody listening on this platform. It's not just for one person. It's for everybody. Okay. Right. So, men, I really want to talk to you this evening. You are the ones that I want to know. I want to know. I want to know everything. So, guys, come in and tell us. I'm going to bring in Delroy first. Then we're going to go to Theo, and then we're going to bring in Mr. Cox.
Sorry, can I just jump in very briefly? because the comment by Yaba Kudjo was just, I think that cannot be passed over.
I haven't seen it
without
yet.
it being discussed. You see it?
Where is it?
It's on screen now. It's on screen now.
Oh no, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
That you can't go over that.
We won't go. You'll come. We're coming to you, so you can bring that up when we get there. Because we're not there yet. All right. So if I bring Delroy in, I bring Theo in, then Tony, you can take that comment. Right? It's yours. Right. So Delroy, come in.
As for commitment, it all depends on the commitment levels of each partner, really. Because some partners are more committed than the other, and sometimes they're not seen on the same level, you know. But to me, I do understand where Herbie and his wife is, because they're coming up from a young school age, really, you know, and that friendship has bond, you know, so their commitments are stronger than people who actually been in relationships before, you know. And when you get to a point where you're single and you're going to go into a relationship, you're looking at, okay, a lady might come to you and say she's looking for a commitment, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to go basically to see how far she's going to go. You're going to want to watch everything, her personality, how she carries herself, how she feels, how, you know, and she's going to do the same thing to watch you before you even commit to that commitment. You know, mm-hmm. It's all about finding out about each other before you're going to even say commitment, but, you know, before to make that final step. That's what I think, you know.
Okay, thank you so much.
I'll leave Tony to do the rest.
Thank you very much, Delroy, for your comment. Mr. Theo, I'm good at Mr. Theo, you can read out Carl Perkins. I'm not upset. I wasn't sorry. I'm not laughing at you, Carl. I wasn't directing at you. It just happened that I was talking to you before I'd mentioned that comment. But yeah, if that, you know.
I see talking. Tony didn't actually answer the question. The actual initial question is, should a man know in 6 months? But I like the other things he brought up. Everyone's talking about levels and stuff. I don't really get it, because if you're in a relationship with somebody and that's the person you love, it doesn't really matter what position they at work they're in, because work is work and home is home, and your relationship's your relationship. So it shouldn't really matter on, oh, we're here and this one is not doing this. If you got love and you've got a commitment to each other, the work is just what, you know, keeps the family going, because that's what pays the bills. So it shouldn't be, your relationship shouldn't depend on your income or your status outside, because inside your husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend or Mr. and Mrs. is not depicted by what you do for a living, because it doesn't really matter. So, and commitment, culturally, maybe back in the day, but not now, because there's so many mixed relationships now, so much diverse, everybody's together now. So maybe back 20 years ago, that was a big thing. Now I got friends who are married to Asians, Filipinos, Europeans. It's all mixed now. So the cultural commitment is a different thing, because the world has changed. I think Parita said the world has changed. So that doesn't really depict anything. And going back to the topic, the question, should a man know? A man knows. A man knows, as Herbie says, and I've said, when we were both married long term, we knew from early. We just took our time before we actually proposed. I think the question is, does a woman know? That's the actual question. It's not does a man know, does the woman know? That's the real question, because most guys already know. We've already put the woman and said this is the woman that's long term. But let's see how it goes. And does a woman know? And that's a
good question.
Good question. It is a good question. It's a very good question. We have to bring that one. Come back again. So hold that question, Theo. Does a woman know? I want to bring Tony back in to just bring us up a little bit up to speed to what's on the thread, and then we're going to come back to Does a Woman Know, and bring the women in. So, Tony.
Well, does a woman
No,
know?
that's not your question. Your question is to go back
Okay.
to what you wanted to say.
All right.
The
So this is
CV
a
thing.
bit-
Yeah.
I just saw this. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That would be an amazing thing if
Yeah.
you had to bring 2 references to your current date from 2 of your exes, so that you could work out whether they were not to go on or not.
Yeah.
And that was an interesting thing, because I'm like, well, okay, let me just think about this. If I brought my 2 last relationships, what would they say about me? And would it be enough for somebody to say, okay, yeah, it's worth giving it a go? It all depends on which point in the relationship they were going to refer to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, was it going to be, for instance, my last wife, you know, the 15 and a half years of glorious whatever, or the last 6 months of sheer hell? You know, I'm sure one would outweigh the other if you were looking at it from that perspective. But yeah, no, interesting. I thought that was quite an interesting analogy to bring up, and one that would be quite interesting if one thinks about it. And I think you do have to think about these things. You know,
You do.
What am I doing that is good, and what am I doing that is bad? What am I bringing to the table to the next relationship? You know, have I got rid of the rubbish that I used to be doing? Because we all are human beings. You know, we all got baggage.
It's true.
As far as how long, if 6 months, I think that's an individual thing. I don't think you can set limits. You know, we're in lockdown right now. Can you make a decision on a partner in 6 months within a lockdown because you haven't been able to go nowhere? Do you know what I think is the acid test with a lot of relationships? When you've got the chance and you've been in a relationship long enough, go on holiday with them for a week. If after that week you're still together and can get on, you got a good chance of a relationship going on for a long time. But that week of isolation together, where you can't get away and no one else's voices is coming into the picture, that's going to test you.
Can I just interject there, Tony? Because
Yeah.
you did come up with a good point with the CV, with that, because just not too long ago, I was speaking to somebody who I'm going to share a private moment. I was approached to go out on a date. I was approached to get to know somebody. The person wanted to get to know me. And it just so happened that we know some of the same people. And so, me being me, very inquisitive, you know, that's me. I said, oh, really? Oh, that's good. So the person mentioned a couple of people. So I said, oh, okay, cool. End of conversation. As the conversation done, the phone went up. Hey, bro, do you know such and such a person? And he's not my brother, but he's my friend, right? Do you know? And the friend said, yeah. Cool. And I said, oh, okay. So we had a little conversation, and the conversation was cool. Then my friend asked me, so you're asking me questions? And I said, yeah, because I met this person, and the person is showing interest. And he said, interest in who? And I said, interest in me. He's showing interest. And what I was told was, for you, he goes, you know what? You're my sister. I think a lot of you do really well. You do lots of things, blah, blah, blah. He goes, for you, I'm going to say red flag, walk. And I said, okay, thank you. Next person. Hello, blah, 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 blah. Do you know this person? Yes, da-da-da. And the person told me the exact same thing. Now, am I hard ears? No, I'm not. When somebody tells you something, you must listen. So I listen, and I've kept it moving. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, we have to get to a place where we start to believe and take note from other people. If they say, I won't go there if I were you, then listen and take heed. If your gut tells you, don't go there, don't go there. I'm just saying. So with this person with the CV, slightly different. But if you do know somebody, if you are dating as an older, I don't see anything wrong with, yeah, I need a reference. Because if you're going for a job, you need a reference. You can't have the job. Even if you're good in the interview, if your reference doesn't back it up, you're not getting that job, right? We have to value ourselves far more than what we do. That's just what I'm saying right about now. So yes. So going back to Theo, ladies, Theo, ask them the question, please. Ask them.
The question is, do you know if he's the man or not? That's the simple question. The question is asked to us as guys. How long does a guy know? How long does it take for a woman to know he's the man?
This is hilarious. Come on, ladies. Go on, Barbara.
Oh, what is it? Yeah, okay. So I am going to, again, just think about, obviously, my past experiences and just how I think now. I would say at the time, I thought I knew, which is why I allowed the relationship to progress, because I thought, yeah, this is him. I love this person. Now, I would say if I were to be in that situation with that same person right now, with my experience and my knowledge and everything, and my own personal growth, I would have done differently, because I would have seen certain things, and you know, I would have just been more knowledgeable, and I would have said no. But at the time, yes, I thought I knew. Now, if I met someone, I would know. So before, being younger, I thought I knew, and I clearly didn't. But now, I believe I would know, and yeah, and I would make that clear as well. But yeah, in this present moment, yeah, I'd know.
And do you think you'd know within a 6-month period or over a 2-year period? Because we've got 6 months, we've got 2 years.
So I would say, because I believe that a relationship takes time to develop, and it takes time for you to get to know an individual. So yes, in 6 months, you'll know a certain amount about that person, and you can get a good indication of, is this person going to be a long-term partner or not? I still feel that a longer period of time is better. And I'm also the kind of person who I feel I need to, I'd want to live with you as well. Like I'd have to see your habits at least. I'd have to see some kind of habits to determine, okay, is this going to be a proper long-term thing? So I won't say live, but spend some time in their house and seeing them on their day-to-day habits and things like that, to kind of experience that side of them. Because dating, you're in a different environment, and you only get to see little snippets of them, of the whole person. So spending a lot more time with them, like in their environment as well, I think would determine whether or not I'm gonna kind of take it forward. But I would be able to tell. 6 months, I don't think you would know for sure. I would say I would take longer. I would know if I would know if I would like to delve deeper into it, but I wouldn't say by 6 months definitively, yes, this is the man for me for the rest of my life, if that makes sense.
Thank you. Yeah, it makes sense. Thank you, Barbara. I hope that answered the question. We've got some more.
No, you didn't answer the question, but it's
yes,
because
yeah.
The reason why I said you didn't answer the question, because you lot was saying, is it Angela and you, Barbara, and I think Tisha said,
yeah,
after 6 months the band best tell me this come correct or whatever. That's what I read earlier.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, let's stretch it out a bit longer. Oh, I'm not too sure. So it's very vague. The man has to be 6 months. The woman is like, oh, I'm not too sure.
No, I will clarify. I'm not okay. I'm going to clarify them. I'm saying I would know. Now, there's two parts to what I'm saying. That's why I say, so I'm going to make it a little bit clear. I would know within the 6 months if I am seeing the potential for this relationship to go further. I'm not saying, oh, I know in 6 months whether this is going to be my life partner, because the whole thing of this is, do you know in 6 months if this person is the one, whatever the one is? But for me, I would know if this is a person that I see potential with in that 6 months. Does that clarify? Coolio.
Thank you. Tisha?
Yeah, it's interesting. Something that Tony said to me, a few months ago, I suppose it's going off topic slightly, but actually same kind of thing. But when I'm with a partner now, going forward, I would like them to meet my male friends. As Tony mentioned this before, and I think it's really key because you can actually see, or they can actually see, if this person is serious. So that is something that I would definitely want to do. So with regards to knowing right away if someone is the one, I don't like the idea of the one. I don't think there's so many different definitions of the one. But previously, I have fallen very easily for the idea of the person I'm dating.
Mm-hmm.
That has been a massive difference. The idea of them. So us women, I suppose we can fantasize of what the potential of this guy is and how we can grow together and do all this together. And I think now I don't do that anymore. And that takes time. You have to like calm yourself down and see reality and see what this man is all about, really. So that does take time. I think it's about having those experiences, because when you're dating someone, you need to have different experiences to see how they act to certain things. So I don't know, like illnesses or like challenges with work or losing work and things like that. You get to see who this person really is before you can commit to them. Going on holiday, as Tony said, living with someone can really change how you see someone. So I think that takes time. It doesn't happen within 2 weeks or whatever, 2 months. So that does take a bit of time. But I think what I want to say is, for me, if I love someone, if I fall in love with someone, that same amount of love is how I would want to feel if I wanted to commit with that person. I'm not going to fall in love with someone that I don't want to be with or commit to. It doesn't make sense. So if I fall in love with someone, that means I love them. I want to be with them forever. So that's how I gauge, and I can fall easily. So it could be 3 months. If they do enough, if they do enough for me to fall in love with them and we just get on so well, then I'm committed. And I don't see that for 6 months or 6 years. I see that for a lifetime. But I don't necessarily believe that they're the one. I don't think there is a thing of the one. It's just about doing life with. So it could be for 6 years. But I am committed. It could be for 6 months, but if I love someone, I am committed. So, that's how I see
it. Sorry, I'm just reading DJ's Super Me's comment. Anyway, Columbo was one of my favorites, Anyway, Michelle, come in. Come in.
I would say that for me, I knew Herbie was the one, because he was just different, completely different to some of my other boyfriends back then that I had, and I don't know, it was just a feeling. I just knew that he was the one, and we were just saying that, we grew up together, from 15 to 55 on Friday, just putting it out there. We just grew up together. So any of the changes, we changed together, we moved sort of the same way. So, and I don't know any different. Herbie was my first love, so that could have something to do with it. I don't know, but it's I just knew. I just knew in my heart of hearts that he was the man for me. And Karen put something on about who's not for you. There's certain things that I just would not put up with from a very young age. I just said no. If they're like this, I wouldn't want that. So for me, and and Herbie's come with the traits that I love and adore now. So that's how it was for me.
Thank you, Michelle. Did that answer the question for you, Theo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Good.
no, but it's just because it was just interesting because we kind of put on the spot. Man should know after 6 months or whatever.
Oh,
and
yeah. Well,
yeah,
that's because
I just tried to ask the
the.
same thing.
Yeah, and I
think.
knew really early. I knew within sort of a couple, maybe 3 months, and I was about 15, but I was quite mature in how I carried myself and all those sort of things. So I just knew.
Thanks, Michelle. She knew. Michelle knew, and they are still in their 35-year-old marriage. And I think that's, we should be applauding them because we don't see people who are our age very often hitting those figures. So, I do want to salute Michelle and Herbie. And that is why they are here as our couple of choice, to give us, some guidance as well, especially for those of us who are single and who are hot on the dating scene, even though it is lockdown. What I am going to say to that is, Simeon Come Live With Me is two different things. That's what I'm going to say to that. So the first thing is first. Yeah, I think I will know. Actually, before I even say that, the first thing I'm going to say is this. I have a very good relationship with myself, first and foremost. Therefore, I am able and I am willing to trust myself, my instincts, to guide me to what I want. Yes, there will be outside sources, like the story that I told you of my friend who said to me, no, don't bother with that. And I absolutely agree. I absolutely have taken that on board, and I have absolutely kept it moving and I walk on by. So that's the first thing, is that I trust myself. I trust my instincts. I trust my intuition to know when he is in my presence. Now, I don't think that there is any one person. I think that there are several ones, and it's down to me to choose which one I want. And, wrongly or rightly, the choice is, for me, is the woman's choice. It is the woman's choice. Either like her, should I like you? If she's into you, she's into you. So if I'm into you, I'm into you. But if I am into you, then know that you meet the requirements of qualities that I require to be with me. Because I value myself as a queen. Therefore, the man who approaches me as a king. Because you can't come to a queen if you are a pawn. You have to be a king. Right? So that's what I'm saying. So to answer the question, yes, I think I would know very quickly. And that's where the see me and come live with me is two different things. So yeah, we're going to spend a time living together. But that time of living together is not going to be 5 years, 8 years, 15 years. No, that time, you have a short period of time, because my value is commitment, and that value is marriage. And why? Some people say it doesn't make sense, it's this, it's that, but actually it only makes sense to be married once you die. Because if you are together and you are not married, then when you die, then you will see why you should have got married in the first place, when one of you dies. That's what I'm saying. So if you check this thing out in terms of lifelong partner and how things are going and how you look after each other, I want the whole pie. I don't want piece. I'm not peace. I'm not half a woman. I am not a snack. No, I'm a whole thing, right? So this is me. So I hope that has answered your question, Theo. I'm absolutely yes. I will know it when I see it. And I may have even seen it already. I'm just saying. Okay.
I answered. As I said earlier, living together with somebody, that's the break.
Yeah.
And as Tony said, going on holiday, always the best one. I always recommend holiday, a whole week together, 24/7. If you can stay with each other for 24/7 for a week, then you got a chance. If after that few days you've been arguing and can't stand each other, you know that relationship is not going to last. Because marriage is about spending time with somebody for a long period of time. Absolutely.
I'm loving some of the answers that are coming in. There was one, a remote. I'm committed, but I like to go home at home time. And like people can have loads of kids and claim to love them. All the same, I can love my wives. I thought that was quite an interesting comment. So you're saying that means you have more than one wife. I'm happy for you. And happy for them.
That's a lot of work, man. More than one wife.
I'm happy for that man.
Work, man.
I'm happy for him.
One's more than enough, man.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, anyway, my husband won't want no other wife because I'm more than enough. All right. Yes, I'm talking tonight. 100%. Maxine Sinclair Herbert. Hi, sis. My bigger sister is here tonight. Here out, 100%. That's right. That's it. The family's here backing it up. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, so guys. Right, Kelly on Ross is saying, Herbie and Michelle, amazing, but that's what makes us human. We all differ. Some things work, some things may need a little work, or just need not work. Hang on, or just will not work, and that also involves marriage. Let's not be fooled. Not all prayers are answered. You can be anything you want in life if you are capable of doing it, and if the job role is available. And that was from Kelly on. The family tree is saying fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. Yes. Okay. Urban psychologist, psychotherapist is saying intuition, and yes, I like what you're saying. Value self and do not settle for less. Absolutely. Boom. That's a statement for real. More than 100%. Lolly Lorraine is saying. So guys, the man is saying, he was saying that, he thinks that, he's talking about going to college, and he's talking about, having to choose what you're going to major in, and it takes less time, blah, blah, blah. And I think that actually works for a younger person. But I think, in my own personal opinion, and you guys can disagree or agree with me as much as you like, and we'll talk about it. I actually think that the older you get, the less time that you actually feel you need to identify what you want in a partner. So I don't know if you would agree with that, but I certainly feel, for me, I don't require that amount of time, because I have wisdom and I understand and I have intuition and all of those good things, so I can make a decision. What's your take on that? Do you think that we need, at 50 and 55 and 58, that we need 2 years to work out whether or not the person's the right one for us? What do you think? I'm going to ask Tony.
So in my 50s now, where do I see commitment? I mean, whereas when I was younger, I would have committed a lot sooner. Obviously, today, I'm not willing to commit for a good while.
What is a good while? Give us an estimate on the time frame.
I don't think I can. I'm not willing to put that as a number, because it depends on a number of factors. Obviously, right now, you're in lockdown. You ain't going nowhere. So you can't see a person outside of the confines of one small space. You can't go to a show. You can't go to, a sporting event. You can't go nowhere. I'm not making no commitment unless I can, work in those, in my normal arena. Where I'm normally seen, where you can find me, those places. I'm I need to see that. And as I said, a holiday, that's the icing on the cake. Is can you be with a person for a week with nobody else getting involved, no voices from the outside saying blah blah blah. And thank you, Tisha, very much for reminding me of that subject that I mentioned. Bring your partner to your friends. because that's gonna reveal a whole lot. I've had this experience this week where I've seen a partner in amongst the crowd, and I've had to go to and think to myself, that partner is struggling with this person's friends and family. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to deal with that person's friends and family. That's going to be an issue. You know, a holiday is just a honeymoon. Yeah, you can see it as that. But, you know, look, you can look at it as that way, but it's going to be a very big eye-opener in your development of your relationship. And as with anything, you know, look, the early stages of a relationship are called the something season for a reason. Help me.
Honeymoon season.
The honeymoon season, or the honeymoon part of the relationship, you know, that early part, you know, you do so much to impress, you know, make sure every time you brush your teeth extra and clean your ears out and make sure your hair's on point. And then it takes a while before you get to that point where you can relax and just be yourself. You know, how does the woman bring herself to the man? Is the face always done up? Or is she just happy to just turn up, you know, here I am. This is what I look like when I don't have the face mask on. So all of these things, you know, are gonna play a big sort of part in how long it's gonna take before you actually make that commitment and say, yeah, she's the one. So I'm not going to put any time on that. It could be 6 months. It could be 2 years. It might be never for me. I don't know. I'm not willing to say, well, yeah, you know, I'm definitely getting married in the next however many years, or, you know, by the time I'm 60, I'll have had my third wife and whatever. No, there's no if buts. It's just, let's go with maybe.
Okay, thank you for that, Tony. Thank you for your honesty. Appreciate that. Okay, so Herbie comes in. I can see Herbie's hand going up. Come in. Free to say never, Tony.
Yeah, as you get older, it's gonna probably.
Can't. Oh, can we hear Herbie?
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear Herbie.
Yvonne, can you hear me? No.
Okay, I'm gonna come out.
I can hear Herbie, Michelle.
I can't. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna come out and come back in.
Okay.
Shall I wait for you to come back in?
That's what she said. So she said, no, you can carry on, Herbie.
Go on, Herbie. Go on.
All right. Okay. So, yeah, as you get older, obviously he's gonna pose a different setup in a relationship, because obviously now, said you're 50, 40 odd, you meet a partner, you both could have certain lifestyles, certain habits, and really it depends on how quick you can be open and honest with each other. So you're going to come and say, listen, you know, I want to be committed. This is what I do. Yeah, I do this, that. And the woman may say, I don't like this. You know, you might smoke, for example. You might smoke, and she might not like work smoking at all. So however, she's sort of like, you know, something, I just don't like the smoke. So you have to decide, well, I have to give up smoking, or I'll smoke away, or whatever. There's certain things, but there's expectation that because of your age, that you would know what you want in life. So, like, in terms of the time scale, it could be quick. It could be a matter of months, really. You know, a couple of months. You know, I don't think you would need to go on holiday, anything. You just sit down and talk. You're big people. You sit down and talk and say, yeah, this is what we want, and go for it. I don't think when you reach a certain age, you're dating for months, years, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's young people thing. You know, in my opinion, yeah, it's a young people thing. When you're old and mature, you just talk and lay it out and get on it, because time is short. You know what I mean? Some people have, you know, all big children, everything. You know, you ain't got time for that. You know, but
I don't look at my time as short though, Herbie. I might be
No?
52, but I don't think my time is short. I think I got a long time left. I only consider myself halfway through life.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I'm in no rush.
You know, right? Okay. All right.
I think when you get to sort of my age, especially if you've had children as well, there's, you know what, when you're younger, that you might have a clock that you're working to. You're thinking, all right, I must have kids by the time I'm 30 or kids by the time I'm 40, because who wants to have kids at 50? You know, let's be honest, you know, 50, 60, you're not looking for kids. You're thinking, well, I've that boat has sailed. But yeah, there's, you know, when you hit late 40s and you're in your 50s, you know, you kind of think, well, I've got my family, if you haven't already. If you haven't and you do want it, then you're in a rush. You're in a mad rush. But if not, then you got all the time that your life is going to give you. I mean, you don't know when you're going to pass. That's the truth. But why look at it as a gloomy thing that you've hit 40, you've hit 50? I don't look at it that. You know, my great aunt is 93, and I'm like, well, yeah, good, still going strong, great.
Okay.
So Tony,
sorry, Tony.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's no rush. Supposing your partner wants to get married, and what would you say then? I'm not in a rush. Let's wait another year, whatever. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what it is, Theo. If you know, if somebody should fall in love with me before I fall in love with them, it's gonna just have to be a wait and see. You know, if we're in love and I'm thinking, you know, I don't want to commit to marriage, and they want to, I'm not just gonna do it just for the sake of satisfying their request. I'm gonna take my time because I've done it. I know what it's like.
Wouldn't that cause a rift in the relationship? Seeing that she wants to get married, and you are saying no, that could split the relationship, isn't it?
It could do, absolutely. But when you're, you know, late 40s and 50s, are you looking for marriage? And I you know, when I used to do online dating, I used to see that. I used to see in people's profile, I'm looking for marriage. I'm like, really? Do you not just want to meet somebody first and then talk about them? You know, I'm like,
no, because, and I'll tell you why you don't get that. It's because it's about the intention. It's the intention of what you want. So I don't believe that when they're saying they want to get married, they're looking to marry, it's not that you are going to be the person, but that's their intention of what they want. Their goal, not to just be like, if I see someone online and they say they're separated, bye, I'm not interested. Get yourself sorted, get yourself divorced, get yourself ready, then we can go. I'm not interested in your separated life. No, not interested. Because I know what I want. And it's as simple as that. My intention is that I will be in a fully committed relationship with someone that will, and that commitment will be marriage, whatever time it is. But I tell you what, it won't be 2 years, it won't be 5 years, because the conversation that I'm having with the person is this. This is what I want. This is my intention. This is what I want. I'm not putting a gun to your head saying that if we're dating for 2 years, you have to marry me. But you have to know that I am not going to waste my good self waiting on someone who doesn't want me. Because there are so many disgruntled women who have been in long-term relationship 10 years, 15 years, and are disgruntled because their partners did not see fit to marry them. And I'm just saying, and I know that I'm not that girl. I'm not that woman. I'm not that woman. I'm old-fashioned in certain things. And that's just what I want. And I will have what I want because that's the woman I am. So if you know that when you meet a person, I'm not holding no gun to nobody's head, as I said. If that's not you want, just let me go. Let me move on. Let me go and let me find that person who wants the same things, who has the same value set as me. So again, I'm saying again, just so that guys can hear, it's not holding a gun to your head. You have a choice. Do I look like the type of woman, or does she look like the type of woman that I want to marry? Does she have the qualities that I want? Do I love her? Do we make a good team? Are we building life and making life? Are we working together? Is she my support? Have I got her back? Has she got my back? All of the things that you do, the everyday things that you would want. If the answers are yes, and she wants that commitment, why would you say no? Then I'm saying you don't value me as I value myself. So walk on by. That's all. And I think we have to get to a place where we value ourselves in that way, that it's not a matter of waiting, or if you're saying, okay, let's date for 2 years and then after 2 years then we'll plan. That's a plan. But if you're saying 5 years, you're mad. I'm not waiting for you. I'm not.
Yeah, I agree. I think, Yvonne, I don't know if we talked about this on other shows, but there has been situations where you see a woman be with a partner for, I don't know, 10 years, 2 kids, whatever, but not married. There's no commitment there. And then they break up. And then next thing you know, he's married another woman. So is it Cassie? That happened with Cassie and, what's his name? Can't remember his name now. I can't remember his name, but Cassie was with was it not Biggie? Oh, I can't remember anyway.
P. Diddy.
P. Diddy, that's it. For like how much years? I don't know. They were together. They lived together for so much years. Cassie got fed up because he didn't want to marry her, and then she found someone who wanted to commit. They got married and had their first kid within like a year. So you've got to, as you said, you've got to know what you want. You've both got to know what you want. Lay it down lay it down. Like, if you're not on this, tell me, and then let's bid our farewells and meet someone who, does want to commit.
Absolutely. And as my big brother said, my big brother is Theo right there. He said, men know. I trust Theo. I do. He's a wise man. He's very calm, very, very calm. And he said, men know. So if you know, most men know, you have a sense, you have a feeling. Just as women have a feeling, you have a feeling. So if I'm not that one, let me go now. Let me go. And let me take me out of the equation. Let the woman go. If you know that you got this woman. Remember our friend, is it Nevada, who said he had a friend with benefit for 6 years or something like that. Do you remember that? That was before Christmas. And we're like, that's not a friend with benefit. That's your girl, man. For 6 years? No. No, that's just happening. So I'm saying that Theo has said, and I take this on good counsel from Theo, he said that guys, and Herbie said it as well, guys know. You got that feeling, you know if this is the one that you want to be with. So if that's the case, sort it out. Stop mucking about. And this is what I feel, that when women start saying men play games, I think that that's what that is. But I'm only talking in a long-term scenario. I'm not talking about short-term, because sometimes you can meet somebody on the short term, and then when you look at them, you think, you have to go. You're not the one. Tony, come in.
Yeah, but in retort to that point you just made, look how many women are out there that have never been married. And you have to ask yourself, like, what are they looking for? What is stopping them? What is, are they just not into commitment?
Maybe they never asked. It was never required. It was never required. I was married. I have 3 sets of engagement ring. Let me just tell you that now. I'm just airing my business today. I was married and been engaged long term, and walked away 5 weeks before I was due to get married in the second marriage. Yeah. So when I say I trust me, I trust my instinct, I trust it, and I made the right decision. Other women, sometimes women want marriage but are scared to ask for it. They're scared. He doesn't want to get, or he said he's not, or they're waiting, this birthday, this anniversary, they're gonna ask me, and then they get disappointed when they get a book for a present rather than a ring. But you have to require it, and that's why I do believe some women are not married, because they ain't asked for it, they ain't required it, and their self-esteem, sorry to say, ladies, self-esteem has been low. and you're scared to ask for what you want, do not be scared to do that. I think it's high time. And it's not putting a gun to a man's head. Man must know what he wants. He's supposed to be a leader. He's supposed to be able. That's how we've been taught culturally. The man is the leader. So lead. Ask the question. That's just me. That's how I see it. And I'm putting my neck out today because I want us to start being honest. Because sometimes I don't think we are honest. I think we're playing too safe.
Even that kind of ties into last week's discussion when the woman didn't say anything to the man, but she expected him not to do it or whatever it is. If you want something, you have to ask for it. Plain and simple. You ask. It's like anything. You go into a shop and you want to buy a pair of shoes, you have to ask for the shoes. You can look at it, sit next to it, demand it in your mind, but it's not going to get on your feet. You still have to ask. So if you want the ring, the man has to know from the get-go, like you said, I want to get married. My wife said it to me. She wanted children. And I had to think about it. Do I want children or not?
Yeah. Imagine
so you have to ask.
Say that. Imagine if she said that. She never said she wanted to marry, never said she wanted to have children. Then it's like there's no
just coasting.
Yeah, it's
just coast. Just coast. I call it coasting when the people in a long-term relationship. You're coasting, you're doing everything. You might as well. What's the big, I don't get when someone's been with someone for 10, 15 years. I'm saying you might as well just get married. Why have two separate surnames and stuff like that? You go into a hotel and Mr. Jones and Miss Smith, and it's like, why? You got your children and they got different names, and it's like, it doesn't sound like a family to me. It doesn't sound like a family. It's not really family oriented. That's just my personal opinion. Other people might think there's not a problem with it, but to me, if you go into the family, that we're the Mandersons, all of us, bam, we go together. So everybody knows we're part together. Not, oh, that's Miss Jones, that's Mr. Smith, that's this one. Nah, I don't know. That's just my opinion on it anyway.
I mean, can I just retort to that again as well?
One minute, hold it, Tony. Hold it 1 minute. Because we are actually at 59 minutes to 12. We have been talking. Yeah, the time has gone so quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to end as we normally end. We're going to bring the ending of this back next week. I am going to do that because we are out of time. I'm going to allow you to say what you had to say. And then I'm just going to quickly just run again what happened last week and just give you, because we did get some more correspondence back from the person who wrote the letter last week. So Tony, just finish off what you was going to say, and then we'll bring.
Yeah, I was just going to respond to Theo's point about expecting the lady expects to tell the man that I'm looking for marriage. We're in a different age now, I believe, where marriage isn't seen so much as a goal. Yeah, we do see it, but it's not as much a goal as we had it when we were growing up. And therefore, I think it's important to recognize those social changes that make life different for a number of people. We just look at things differently nowadays, and we sort of look at society and the way it's made up and make our decisions based on our historical cultural upbringing, but also we kind of bring that up to date and say, well, I used to think that way, but nowadays everybody's thinking this way, so I'm going to realign my thinking. And I know some things we don't. I mean, me still play 1950s, 60s, 70s music. I'm never going to get with the new age music. But there are certain things where I go, you know what? I need to get in line. Not least of which is education. Unfortunately, I can't teach the way I was taught. I have to get in line with today's methodology of teaching. Now we got psychoanalysts and sociologists and all these other ologies in school making up curriculum, whereas we never had that back in the day. And I would like to see education change, but it's a mindset that has adjusted to today's society.
Thank you, Tony. I think
people are still getting married, Tony, man. People are still getting married. Yeah. Young girls are still getting married. They're getting married everywhere, man. Marriage is a big business,
Good.
still booming, man.
Yeah, I'm a wedding
It's a
planner.
lovely thing. I've done it twice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's not this new age. People are still getting married. They're not. Society still hasn't changed. People still want to get married. It's just people are using excuses now not to get married. That's the difference.
Because they can have the married life without the marriage.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's so people are still getting married.
I just want to say, because like education, the curriculum has not changed for donkey's years, for years and years and years and years and years. The way that we teach has changed, but the curriculum hasn't. It's the people changed. And so I think that we need to really start to look at what we want, not what anybody else wants, because no one lives in our shoes. No one's not living for. I can't live for you, Tony. Tony can't live. Even if we're a couple, I can't live for you. You can't live for me. But we live our own truth, bring it together, and walk on the same journey together. And so and have mutual respect for each other's mindset. And I think that that's missing in relationships. I think that, you know, it's, when I'm saying, you know, ask for what you want, it's not my way or the highway. It's we still have to come together and agree that that's the way that we're going to go. We have come to the end of the show. We will pick up from this next week. We do have a letter next week, but we'll pick up from the end of this next week, just so that we can finish off the show. And just before we end the show, I started off the show saying that we did hear from the young lady who wrote the letter, and she did fill in some of the gaps, but she wanted to thank the panel for all the comments that was said last week. It has helped her she has spoken to her partner several times about his behavior. They are now going to seek some additional expert help as well. And she's also, one of the things that she said is that she's going to work on her own self-esteem, because she recognizes from the end of the show, she recognizes that there is some disparity there within herself, and that she needs to work on herself. So I think that I just want to thank the panel for those who was on the panel last week and those who are on the panel this week. You know, it's great show. We get a lot out of it. There's lots and lots of learning. No one opinion is more valuable than the other. I think people just take what they need. It's like eating chicken, innit? You eat the meat and you throw away the bone. You sometimes they throw away the meat and you have the bone. You know, it's just about what your preferences. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, Yaba says, well done, a class show. Thank you so much. There was a comment there. Can we go back to Yaba's comment? There was one comment. I do want to just pick that up before we go, about her truth, what the truth was. She wanted to share. Just real quickly, we'll pick that up and then we will leave tonight's show. Next week, we've got a Red Letter Tuesday. Do stay tuned in for that. We have had requests for shows on mental health, shows on menopause. We've had all of these, how it affects relationships. And so we're going to start looking at some of those things as well. I don't know if I can find that. I don't know if I could. Oh, Yaba says, I would love to share my experience. For me, again, due to my experience, marriage is the last on the checklist. And again, you know, as I think Tony and Herbie mentioned, and I think Theo mentioned about the experiences of our past relationships and how they can affect us moving forward. But certainly, guys, you know, if you're in a relationship and you have been with that woman and you love her, you cannot see your life without her. Do the right thing, Mancha. Right? That's all I'm saying. Marriage can be viewed as an unnecessary expense. It just depends on how you do it. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You could just go down to the registrar, say I do in your jeans, and go home and eat a biscuit. That's it.
Marriage isn't about the day.
It's not the day. It's about the commitment. It's not about the Theo. It's not about that. No, it's not about the money. And you know, if divorce is about the money, then work on working it out. And I'm a divorcee. I'm just saying. So don't shoot me down or get upset with me for saying these things, because I am a divorcee, and I'm saying in this your life that we're living now, divorce doesn't have to. You can try and work it out. Try and work it out if you can. All right. So, guys, we're at the end of tonight's show. I want to thank my panel members for being here, as always, giving out the great advice. Thank you so much for being here this evening. I want to thank you guys on Facebook. I want to thank you on YouTube for being here, for taking part. All of the keyboard warriors, thank you so much. If we didn't get to read out your comments, I do apologize, but do be here again next week between the hours of 10 p.m. and midnight, where we will be having more discussion. And it is Red Letter Tuesday next week. So we've got a juicy letter and somebody who wants advice from us and you also. So join us next week. But for now, ciao.
Ciao. God bless.
Bye. Good night, everyone.
Bye. Open Doors Training and Development Trust presents Your Pathway to Employment. Open Doors are introducing free employability and functional skills training 2021. If you are unemployed, furloughed, if you're looking for work that requires support to step on the ladder of success, or you're lacking the necessary skills for that ideal job, this course will give you a good foundation for a better future and improve your online skills. It will help you to up-level your interview and performance skills and even learn how to fill out application forms effectively. This course will indulge in your passion to help you start your own business and build your confidence and self-esteem. So join Open Doors today. Register for your place without delay and start the 1st of February 2021.
You ready? You got me running, got me running. Shake it, shake it, shake it.